All right, let's just jump right into this because the title really says it all. It sounds like a riddle, right? ChatGPT warns don't trust ChatGPT, but it's not a joke. We're about to explore a wild situation where an AI is basically sounding the alarm on itself.
I mean, it's a fascinating question, isn't it? What happens when you put an AI on the spot and ask it about its own flaws? Well, a group of medical researchers decided to do just that. They cornered one of the most powerful AIs out there to talk about the harm it could do, especially in medicine, where the stakes are literally life and death.
So here's the setup. You've got these researchers from a major medical journal, and they're getting really concerned about how people are starting to use AI for medical advice without any regulation. They were especially worried about high-risk fields like obstetrics, where a pregnant patient might turn to an AI for a quick answer instead of a doctor.
And they didn't pull any punches. They went straight to the source and asked ChatGPT to basically write an essay about its own failings, to spell out the dangers it poses to pregnant patients. They pretty much asked it to write its own warning label. And honestly, what it said back is just jaw-dropping.
Okay, so let's get into the AI's actual words. Its response was so shockingly self-aware and clear that the researchers just went ahead and published it. It really is like listening to a machine confess its deepest, most dangerous flaws.
So right off the bat, the AI admits its number one problem. It's not a doctor. It's not thinking. It's a pattern-matching machine on a massive scale. It can't use clinical judgment because, well, it doesn't have any. It's just spitting back sophisticated-sounding sentences based on all the data it was trained on.
And here, the AI gives its own bone-chilling example. A headache during pregnancy. That could be absolutely nothing, or it could be a sign of preeclampsia, a super dangerous, life-threatening condition. The AI knows it might just give a generic answer about headaches and totally miss the urgency. It could cause a delay in care that might be tragic.
Now this is a really subtle but incredibly important point. The AI is warning us that its own confidence is a danger. It sounds so polished, so authoritative that you just want to believe it, even if what it's saying is completely wrong or missing a huge piece of the puzzle. It can create panic over nothing, or worse, give you this false sense of security when you should be rushing to a doctor.
So, we've heard the AI's confession. We know what it says is wrong with itself. But now let's dig into the why. Why do these massive fundamental flaws even exist? It really all comes down to the way these things are built.
You have to understand this key term, hallucinations. This is when an AI doesn't just get a fact wrong, it literally makes things up from thin air. It will invent fake studies, false details, bogus sources, all because its main job isn't to be truthful, its job is to give you an answer that sounds plausible.
And this right here, this comparison just lays it all out. On one side, you have the AI, just crunching through data, recognizing patterns. On the other side, you have a doctor who is putting together your entire unique story, your medical history, your lab work, how you look and feel in that exact moment. An AI just can't do that. It doesn't have intuition or real-world experience.
And look, this isn't just some what-if scenario we're talking about. These flaws are already having documented, real-world consequences for actual patients and doctors.
And here's the scariest part, the human factor that makes this all so risky. Studies have found that we, and that includes both patients and doctors, we have a tendency to trust the AI's answers way too much. We see a confident, well-written response from a machine, and our brains are just wired to think it must be right. The research is full of these scary examples. We're seeing physicians who delay the right treatment because they put too much faith in an AI suggestion. There are even documented cases of specialists, like endoscopists, using AI to spot cancer, actually missing serious problems because the AI didn't flag it. The tool that's supposed to help ends up making them less careful.
So after hearing all that, you might be thinking, should we just scrap AI in medicine entirely? It sounds pretty bad, right? Well, the experts say, no, not so fast.
The big idea here is that we shouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. The goal isn't to replace doctors. It's to think of AI as a powerful new tool in the toolbox. It's a potential co-pilot, there to support the human expert, but never ever to be the one flying the plane.
And really, this final quote from the medical journal's editorial just nails it. AI can be a game changer, but it absolutely must be used to complement the expertise of a real doctor, never to replace it. Human oversight is non-negotiable.
So we're left with this one last thought. In a world where we can get instant answers to anything, this whole situation is a powerful reminder of just how valuable real human expertise is. It really makes you think, doesn't it? The next time you have a health concern pop into your head, what's your gut instinct going to be? Who are you going to ask first?
Let's talk about AI. There's a lot of fear out there, a lot of scary headlines. But what if the whole conversation is pointed in the wrong direction? What if the key to AI safety isn't about fearing the technology, but about educating ourselves? That's the big idea from a recent letter to the editor we're going to break down today. First things first, let's just acknowledge it. You can't escape the anxiety around AI tools these days. The warnings are everywhere, and the headlines, well, they know exactly how to tap into our biggest worries.
I mean, look at this. This is the actual title of the article our source was responding to. It's designed to be alarming, right? It perfectly captures that feeling of distrust. So, what is really going on here?
And that really brings us to the most important question of all. When the AI messes up, is it the technology's fault or is something else going on? This is where things get really interesting.
So this brings us to the core argument of our source material. The idea is that AI isn't some monster we should be afraid of. It's a tool. And like any tool, it's not inherently good or bad. It's all about how we use it.
Think about it like this, a power saw, right? In the hands of a skilled carpenter, it can build something amazing. But in untrained hands, it's pretty dangerous. The argument here is that AI is exactly the same. We shouldn't be blaming the tool, we need to be training the user.
And this just lays it out so clearly. A drill is just a drill until you decide whether you're going to build a bookshelf or, put a hole where it doesn't belong. A calculator is totally useless if you punch in the wrong numbers. The same exact logic applies to AI. The quality of what you get out is 100% tied to the quality of what you put in.
Okay, so if the tool itself isn't the problem, then what is? This leaves us to what might be the most crucial point. The real risk isn't the AI, it's the untrained user. It's us. The source has a great term for this, a failure of communication. When an AI gives you a bad answer, it's not a failure of its intelligence. It's a breakdown in how we're communicating with it. The AI is just trying its best to answer a bad, or vague, or incomplete question.
Let's look at a super simple example. Asking an AI, is this a good investment, it's almost a useless question. A good investment for who? For someone about to retire or for a 25-year-old? Someone who loves risk or hates it? Without any of that context, all the AI can do is give you a super generic, probably unhelpful answer.
Now look at this. Analyze the financial risks of launching product X in Q3, given my company's low risk tolerance and the current market volatility. See the difference? It's specific. It's loaded with context. This is how you get something actually useful out of the tool. You have to give it what it needs to do its job.
And this quote from the source just nails it. We would never say our calculator is broken or can't be trusted because we typed 2 plus 3 when we meant to type 2 plus 2. We'd know it was our mistake. The argument is we need to start applying that exact same thinking to AI.
Okay, so if the problem is really a lack of user education, then what's the solution? Well, it's not just telling everybody don't trust AI and walking away. The source argues for a much more practical educational approach.
The goal here is to empower people, not to scare them. And the way we do that is by giving them a simple, practical set of rules for using AI safely and effectively. And our source actually proposes one. And here it is. It's framed as the 10 Commandments for Responsible AI Use. It's basically designed to be a simple, easy-to-remember guide for anyone who's going to interact with these powerful new systems.
Now, 10 commandments can feel like a lot to keep in your head, but we can actually group them into 3 really simple themes. It's all about having the right mindset, giving the right inputs, and then applying the right kind of human oversight.
So let's quickly run through these. First up, mindset. This is huge. You have to remember the AI is a tool, not a genius. Just because it sounds super confident doesn't mean it's right, and its job is to help you think better, not to do the thinking for you.
Second theme, inputs. This is that classic rule you've heard a million times. Garbage in, garbage out. It's never been more true than with AI. You have to give it context. You have to be clear about your goals, because it definitely can't read your mind. And last, but honestly, this is the most important one, oversight. Your brain has to stay in the loop. You have to double-check anything important. And you should never let an AI be the final decision maker on anything that has real consequences. Human judgment is absolutely non-negotiable.
This chart is a perfect way to picture that last point. The amount of human oversight you need scales directly with how high the stakes are. If you're just drafting a friendly email, minimal oversight, probably fine. Doing some market research? Yeah, you're going to want to check its work. Making a medical diagnosis? Mandatory. Expert human oversight is an absolute must. No question.
Okay, so let's pull all of this together. This whole argument really changes our relationship with AI. It shifts us from being passive people who are just being used by some mysterious technology to being active, educated users who are actually in control of a really powerful tool.
And this right here is the ultimate takeaway. The road to safe, useful AI isn't built on fear and blanket warnings. It's built on education, on responsibility, and on us understanding that we are the most important part of this whole equation.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If an AI is basically just a mirror, reflecting the quality of our questions, our curiosity, and our critical thinking, what's it going to reflect about you? The answer, it turns out, is entirely up to us.